Hello, it's Crafty Ria, and I am so glad you are joining me today for another video. If you saw one of my recent Happy Mail videos, I received this wonderful book, this Card Maker's Yearbook, and I thought I would make some cards out of it, get some ideas from it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the Valentine cards, since I've been making some Valentine cards. And this one here caught my eye. And I thought I could copycat this card. It uses a Making Memories metal frame, which I do not have, but I did find something on my desk that I thought would be really good to use on the card. I found this. This just happened to be sitting on my desk. It's like one of those little film negative holders. And I thought it was really cute. And I also had this embellishment that came in Happy Mail, and I thought I could make a card using that as well. So I went ahead to make this easy. I made myself a card sketch from it. And it's right there with just the pattern paper, the ribbon, and then the embellishment. And I just traced that on there exactly, just to make it easy. So there is that card sketch. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll see how close we can come to that card, which is probably not all that close, but we shall see. We'll look at that again at the end. So I'm going to make two cards with it, and on one I will use the black card base, and one I will use a white, and these measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I went ahead and picked this paper since it has words on it like the original card did, and I thought that would be really cute on there. And then for this one here, I thought it would go really neat on this paper here. So I'll do this one on the black, and I will do this one on white. So let's go ahead and make the original one first. So we're going to do it in the landscape orientation, and I need to cut this paper to fit. So in this direction, it needs to be 4 1/8. I'm going to have it 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around. And then it's going to be 5 3/8. And that way that'll fit right on there with 1/16 of an inch border. While I have this out, I'm going to cut this one the same way. I'll do this at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So that piece will be ready for the other card. So we'll start with this one. I wanted to put something in the back of that, so I took a piece of black cardstock and just cut it just a little bit smaller than the frame, just so when it's on here, the words are not showing through. And I picked some ribbon. I have this ribbon here, and on this original card, it has the ribbon going around the frame, folded over, and it's secured down with a brad. So I'm going to do something very similar to that. So let's go ahead and build that piece first. I have a couple of brads here. I have some pink heart brads, some large ones and some tiny ones. I'm not sure which ones I'll use. Probably the bigger ones. So I need to cut 2 pieces of ribbon, one for each side of the frame, and I want to make sure I cut them large enough. I want to have that folded over, and then I want to have some of it to tuck behind the card. I'm going to cut this straight as well. So that will be plenty for that side, and this other side does not need to be as long. I always like to cut it a little bit bigger than I think I need it. And I thought maybe instead of having this red piece be straight, that I would make kind of a dovetail end to it. So I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, and I'm just going to give it a cut on an angle like that. So then I come out with that dovetail end. I think that's going to look kind of cute. It'll give it more of a decorative edge. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other piece of ribbon. So we have that piece, that decorative piece as well. So I definitely want to get an idea of how much of this I want folded over, and just make a little crease in the ribbon. Try to get an idea, and that way I can measure. How about if I do about 1 inch? And that way I can do 1 inch on each side. Just a little bit bigger than 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is unfold it, and I will put a little bit of tape runner on the back. Just on the back right there. And then I will put it in here and fold it over. I want to put it in here so I have 1 inch of it through. I know that might be too much. I'm going to line it up on my board with this end. Here, let me zoom you in a little bit. I will line it up on my board with this end here, and then 2 squares is 1 inch. So I'm going to put my ribbon kind of like that, and then I will push this piece over. And then that way I can do the same amount on the other side. So I'll put some tape runner down, and I'm going to line it up just like that. Put this ribbon into it about 1 inch. And then fold that over. Make sure I get it even. There we go. So I have that on both sides just like that. So let me go ahead and zoom back out. And then I want to put my brads on. So I need to make a hole right in the middle, and I think that brad will work. So I have my crocodile here, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and make a little hole on each side where I want to put that brad. If you don't have a crocodile, you can use a hole punch, or you can use a craft knife just to make a little cut in your fabric. And I think these are not going to be even. I think this one is a little too far down. We can fix it though. So this one here is a little far down. So I'm just going to move my hole up a little bit. So let me zoom you in so you can see that. There you go. All right, and then I will take this black piece on the back and I will adhere it to there. I'll put a little bit of tape runner on each side. And then put this right down. There. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to this piece of background paper. In case you're wondering, this tape runner came from Happy Mail. It's called AdTech, and they have it at Walmart and Amazon, and I do have it linked in my description box below. Kind of just center this on here where I want it. Let me move it up a little so you can see it better. I need to put tape runner a little closer on this ribbon here. There we go. All right, let's do that again. I'm going to trim a little bit of this off so there's not as much bulk on the back. And just fold that over. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of the card. And then we're almost done with this card. And we'll go ahead and just line that up. Okay, and we need something for the inside of the heart. And I just happen to have these red heart stickers, and I thought that would go really good in the center. There we go. Now let's look at the original picture and we'll see how close we came. Of course not, it's not exact, but it is not bad. I think it was a great inspiration. There we go. All right, well, that was a lot of fun. And so let's go ahead. I have my little bookmark there. And let's make the other card. It'll be a little bit different. So I have the black card base. This one, I have it trimmed up already. The other one I cut a little crooked, but I'll save it for another card. And then I have this piece. I do need to trim this a little bit. Since I had to trim the card base a little bit when I made the card base. I forgot about that when I was cutting out my mat. There we go. So that does have a little bit of a black border all the way around. And for this one here, I have similar ribbon. It is the red with black polka dots. And then I thought that looked really good with that piece. So this card is going to be much simpler than the other. I'm going to trim this edge of the ribbon so it's not frayed. And let me make this a little bit larger than the card base. And I'm just going to put the ribbon down and set that on top of it. It's super easy. This card is like cheating. And I'll run my tape runner along the ribbon. I've had this ribbon in my stash for a very, very long time. I got this at a candle shop, it's on the interstate. I can't remember the name of it. It is kind of at the Indiana and Ohio, I almost said in Florida. That would be a crazy border. Indiana and Ohio border. I used to have a nursing contract in Indiana, and I passed it on my way to and from many times. So I would stop and see what they had in their clearance section. Well, they always had these, I shouldn't say always, but they sometimes had these great packs of ribbon, very inexpensive, and I used to pick them up. And that was in one of them. And then we have that. Now, I would pop this up on Pop Dots. However, it already has quite a bit of dimension, and I don't want it to take up too much room in an envelope. So I'm going to put tape runner just on the back. And I'm going to just put that right there. And just especially make sure it's adhered down above and below that ribbon. And then that card is done. Super easy, super fast. So we have these two cards. Because see, I received that in Happy Mail and all the hard work was already done for me. So we have these two cards inspired. My poor book is falling apart. Inspired by this one here. And then also my card sketch that I made using that idea. Sometimes it's just easier when you see a card you like to draw up a sketch of it, and then you don't have any preconceived notions on what it should look like. You've just got a blank surface to work with, and then you can just get creative. And then sometimes it's nice to have an idea, because then you can really copycat that idea and make it really close as far as colors. And I picked this paper because it had words. I didn't have this exact paper, and I did the ribbon that way. So sometimes it's nice to have an actual card to copy. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you did. Please click that subscribe button right down there in the corner, and then click on the bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If you haven't yet joined my Facebook group, Create with Crafteria, I'd love it if you did. Please head on over there. I post all of my sketches in an album, and I will go ahead and number this. I'm not sure what number I'm on. It's been a while. I will number this and add it to that album. I think I'm a little bit behind on keeping that album up to date, but I will catch it up. And then I will put my examples in that album as well. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.